I'm Shayle Kann, Managing Director of the Solar Program at GTM Research, a market analysis and consulting firm focused on solar and smart grid technologies. In 2010, we formed a partnership with the Solar Energy Industries Association, which has resulted in a series of reports tracking U.S. solar installations, manufacturing, and trade flows. Data from this research indicates that the U.S. solar market is a rare bright spot in a difficult economic climate. Last year, solar installations more than doubled, contributing $3.6 billion directly to the U.S. economy, and the U.S. ran a trade surplus both globally and specifically with China. I'll focus my attention today on photovoltaics, or PV, which is the current dominant solar technology. In 2010, the U.S. PV market grew 104% to reach 887 megawatts, the equivalent of 160,000 residential installations. Although the U.S. has historically lagged behind leading European markets, those markets have slowed down in 2011 while the U.S. has continued its rapid growth. The U.S. is now positioned to triple its market share and become the world's largest solar market within the next 4 years. There's a common misconception that stimulating demand for solar in the U.S. just adds to the revenues of foreign manufacturers. If the panel was assembled abroad, the solar array is said to be foreign-sourced. This assessment is deeply flawed. In reality, most PV panels are manufactured in a multi-step process across different locations. In addition, the panel itself makes up less than half of the system's value, with the remainder a mix of physical components, installation labor, and other costs. Taking all of this into account, our most recent study found that 73 cents out of every dollar spent on a U.S. solar installation in 2010 stayed in the U.S. Much of this value comes from the labor-related costs of a PV system, which cannot be outsourced. There is real job creation in the installation portion of the industry. Solar City, for example, has hired nearly 500 employees in the past year and plans to hire 200 to 300 more by the end of 2011. There are hundreds more growing solar installers, and the jobs they create are permanent as long as the market exists. In order to maintain this momentum, Congress should extend the 1603 Treasury program, which offers commercial project owners a grant in lieu of the 30% investment tax credit. It's scheduled to expire at the end of this year, but an extension would allow the market to expand without creating an unnecessary financing bottleneck. Even though the program is not the direct purview of the Natural Resources Committee, I urge committee members to support an extension this year. Solar manufacturing in the U.S. has become a highly contentious topic in light of 3 recent bankruptcy filings from U.S.-based panel manufacturers. Their industry is currently dominated by large Chinese firms that have received billions of dollars in low-cost loans from Chinese state banks. In addition, prices for PV panels have fallen 61% since the end of 2008 and 30% already in 2011, leading to factory closures from companies that couldn't keep up. At the same time, however, First Solar has begun construction of a new factory in Mesa, Arizona, for which it expects to hire 600 people, and at least 7 other new panel plants are currently planned for the U.S. Moreover, the U.S. continues to be a world leader in the manufacturing of PV feedstock and PV capital equipment. As a result, as Ranking Member Markey said, the U.S. was a net exporter of solar products by $1.9 billion in 2010 and even ran a trade surplus with China by at least $247 million. It will be difficult to compete with China on high-volume manufacturing of commoditized products. However, the U.S. can and should continue to develop and commercialize innovative, proprietary technologies to reduce solar costs. And we do still lead when it comes to solar innovation. Many of the most advanced solar technology companies in the world have been spun out of American universities and are manufacturing in the U.S. We need to sustain such innovation by continuing to support research and development and early-stage solar manufacturing through programs like the DOE's Sunshot Initiative, which aims to reduce solar costs 75% by 2020. We stand at a pivotal juncture in the development of solar power in the U.S. Demand, investment, and most importantly, employment are on the rise. Now all the market needs to amplify this growth is a stable policy landscape and continued support of solar innovation. On behalf of GTM Research and its parent company, Green Tech Media, I'd like to thank the committee again for the opportunity to testify.